So, and she's an attorney too, you know, I mean, attorneys, wow. So, and then she's married to, check this out, Elizabeth Cheney is married to Philip Perry, the former general counsel of the United States Department of Homeland Security. Oh, it just is horrible. What?
They're all incestuous, aren't they?
It's pretty scary. And what I think is scary is that it's just ordinary people like us that have figured this out. It's pitiful. I go in to talk to the Arizona editorial board. They don't know SHI. They don't know anything, and they don't care. I'm telling you the truth. I think there was a young man, I did a, anyway.
Harry
Okay.
Hess has a good saying. He goes, you know, the incestuous relationships in Washington is so bad our national anthem should be changed to dueling banjo.
Okay, so I want to tell you the third director, who is the third director of this Keep America Safe new foundation? It is Deborah Burlingame, the sister of Charles F. Chick Burlingame, third, pilot of American Airlines Flight 77, which crashed into the Pentagon on September 11, 2001. You get that? So I'm sorry, my apologies to all the people who don't study 9/11, but I have to tell you that I don't believe it's. Yeah, Charles Chick Burlingame didn't crash into the Pentagon, as far as that's what I bet on. That plane didn't either. So she's another connected person. You know, and she's also published articles for the Wall Street Journal on the Patriot Act, the National Security Agency Terrorist Surveillance Program, and all this. So, okay, here's the article I was looking for. This is in August, the end of August of this year. It says, Republicans in Congress have also stymied the administration's attempt to buy an unused prison in Thompson, Illinois, to relocate the remaining 180 detainees in Guantanamo Bay. This issue is tied to the 9/11 trial, because those 5 defendants are also held at the same terror camp in Cuba. Then this Representative Peter King, who's on the Homeland Security Commission, and all that, he says, you know, we're not going to let them try it, you know. And then I got an article on Peter King. He's beautiful. I got to read you some of this. He's a Republican, Peter King. Oh, listen. He's better than that. He says, regarding the IRA, he says, we must pledge ourselves to support those brave men and women who this very moment are carrying forth the struggle against British imperialism in the streets of Belfast and Derry. So, he says he became involved with NORAID, an organization the British, Irish, and U.S. governments accused of financing IRA terrorist activities, blah, blah, blah. But then his district got all sorts of Homeland Security money. Now here's another interesting part. There's this fella. What's been happening, we're not trying terrorists associated with 9/11, we're trying all the others. If they did a little bombing in some country somewhere, we'll try them in the American criminal justice system. Because yeah, those terrorists, they can pull off a little bombing somewhere. They can get in a rubber dinghy and float over to a boat, you know, and set off some explosives. They're capable of doing that. So we'll try those, but we're sure not going to try the co-conspirators of 9/11. And for anybody who's not familiar, and I respect anybody who hasn't wasted their time like I have, studying and really working to figure out portions of this 9/11, it makes sense, doesn't it? That if you have, suppose they have 19 individuals, 4 airplanes, all of people who are not citizens of this country, they have had to have someone help them with finance, help them with lodging, help them with transportation, and help them with planning. Everything, there's co-conspirators out there. You know, except I think our government is and I think that's what Obama's doing. He's sort of trying to rattle and threaten the Republicans in control, say, "I dare you, I'm gonna try these guys and screw you." So, so I just put this out there because there's people out there a lot smarter than I am here. I know Ernie amazes me with his understanding of economics and all the dirty deals. But maybe you guys, you know, keep an eye open for this stuff. That's, yes, Pat.
A couple quick questions, Mike. Are you going to be able to have a debate with Ben Quayle? And number two, briefly, what direction is the 9/11 Truth Movement taking right now?
Well, the debate with Ben Quayle is doing the same thing that Jan, what's her name, is doing, Brewer. She's hiding out, man. And so is Ben, without me going into details, but yeah, there's going to be one, I think it's KTVK debate that I'm in, and I'm trying to get in the KJZZ radio debate, and we're trying to put together a debate at Sunny Slope High School, and and everyone's agreed, except to my understanding, Quayle. And of course, Holbert's been trying to get him. What happened with Quayle was that, and this is one of the tragedies I see in the American political system in our country, is that Quayle started out, he had to win with his huge name lead. And then up popped this thing that he had written some articles for a smutty website. So then he started getting attacked for that. And really, that's what my experience, every time Quayle doesn't want to show up in front of live audiences anymore, as near as I can see. Because every time he does, women say, what about, I'm a woman, what about the way you treat women, respect you have for women? And that becomes, that 1070 and healthcare become only thing anybody ever talks about. And so, and Quayle loses every time he shows up, and particularly when he shows up, he's the Democrat is a guy with 5 kids and a SHI eating grin on his face. And then there's me, you know, I look like at least I've been working or doing something for 40 years, where Quayle's this young kid. So he doesn't really want to show up. And the next question, I happen to like Ben Quayle. I think he's a nice person. And if he loses, he'll be much better off personally, because if he wins this thing, let me tell you, he's controlled forever. They'll make him a senator. He'll be doing this bad stuff. You know, he'll find out what his literature means. You understand? And he won't be able to get out of it.
When I met him, I didn't think he did. The whole persona around him was fake. It was like he was this little stick, you know, he was this doll to put on display. I really don't think he was too interested in anything in the campaign. It was just like he was just there. So that's my take on it.
Well, Mike, can you answer the second question?
I'll get the second one. The 9/11 movement, you know, I'm in contact with Richard Gage, I guess when it matters. The 9/11 movement is, you know, going along. It's got a pretty big uphill battle. Has his stuff come out on the PBS TV channels? Have you guys seen that yet?
No.
There's a bunch of stuff coming out there, but notwithstanding, because he put together something on that, but it's still a really tough deal, because people don't want to know. People just want, it's like if my dad was a child molester, what would have happened? He wasn't. But if he was, in my family, what would have happened? We all would have said, oh, you know, they wrongly accused him, or, you know, or it didn't really happen that way, or it only happened once, or it's misunderstood. You sort of don't want to know the horrible, bad truth. And that's what happens in our country. We don't want to admit and live with this ugliness about all these mal hombres that are doing bad stuff. What's your question?
I was just wondering, what is the overall goal of electing this Ben Quayle?
I'll tell you
It sounds
what.
like he doesn't want to be there.
I'll tell you what it is. What is the overall goal of electing this Ben Quayle? And that's, I have to guess what the Republicans want. Well, the kickoff for his campaign was at George H.W. Bush's ranch. okay, and Texas. And it's just continuing this dynasty.
Okay,
That's what it is, and it's an era, I call it a connected aristocracy.
yep.
Hold on. Let me give you mechanics of this down, because I got a few names. This is for a congressional seat
Yeah,
in the state of Arizona.
yeah, North Phoenix, District 3.
District